Surface Preparation Refresher. I'm Jim Olson with the National Tile Contractors Association, and I want to take a little bit of a minute here to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend today's webinar sponsored by TEC Specialty Products. Before I introduce today's speaker, I want to remind you that during the webinar, you'll be muted. Please use the questions area on your computer to type in any or all questions. We'll answer those questions at the end of this presentation. If the audio on your computer is poor, call the number on the invite to this webinar and listen on your phone. All NTCA webinars are available to watch at any time on the NTCA YouTube channel shortly after the webinars are presented. This will give you easy access to watch and or share all current and past programs at your convenience. All right, I'm happy to introduce a new speaker today, someone I haven't worked with, and I'm excited. Josh Sesvold. He is the Area Technical Manager for TEC Specialty Products and has worked in the concrete repair and installation equipment industry for 10 years, specializing in self-leveling underlayments, concrete repairs, epoxy grouts. He currently covers the South and Southeast regions, providing product trainings, demonstrations, and assisting in product launches. I want to welcome you, Josh. I look forward to a great program.
Thank you, Jim. Just want to thank everybody for attending. I appreciate it. Today we're going to go over the surface prep installations and some different things there. This first slide here, why is it going? So as far as your substrate, you need to know what your substrate is and what you need to do for surface prep. So if you're doing concrete, you're going over wood floors or plywood or gypsum, the different installation things that you would need for if you have to level or patch, crack isolation, and then your full system on top of that, which your mortar, grout, tile, if you're doing LVT, LVP, wood, carpet, those kind of things. Today we're going to go over some of the challenges, substrates, again, crack isolation and waterproofing, your moisture solutions, the flatness of what your floor needs to be, some of the warranty things out there, and then some case studies that we have. Here's some challenges. You can see here that the floor is not flat enough. It has some debris. Any of these debris on the uneven floor side of it here, any of those chunks that are loose, you're going to need to take care of. You need to clean that up, get all the debris out, make sure it's a clean, sound, dry substrate so you can then adhere the material that you're going to need, whether it's a self-leveling underlayment or a patch, to be able to fix that and be able to tile over the top of that. On the left side, we have a couple different substrates. If you're doing tile over tile, what kind of materials you would need for that. Here we have our multi-purpose primer and feather edge going over that in order to have a smooth, flat substrate for them to install tile over. Again, if you don't have flat substrates, there's some things that can happen. On the left here, we have a tile installation that it wasn't flat enough for the tile installation to begin with. So whether it's 1/8 of an inch and 10 or 3/16 or whatever your dimensions need to be for this installation. On the other side, you can see how the self-leveling underlayment was installed. We have overwatered floors. They didn't pre-treat the cracks that were in the substrate there on the concrete, which caused the material to flow down into the crack and now starts leaking through to the level below. Some other installation challenges that you may have is going to be bondability. So if there's a sealer on there or oil or something that's going to keep you from bonding to the substrate. And then on the right side there, you can actually see, if you look, you can see the saw cut joint going all the way through the tile. It's all the way through it. They didn't, pre-treat that or have any soft joints that could have maybe helped alleviate that installation from having issues. Get into some of the substrates that you can use. Gypsum concrete. The concrete can be lightweight, could be lightweight concrete. It could be a standard. It could be a structural lightweight. Plywood, OSB. Those are some things that you could be using. And again, knowing your substrate, so we want to make sure we're checking, moisture levels. High moisture levels can create problems with bonding. If you have, hydrostatic pressure, obviously we don't want to install in that. In doing those moisture testings, you can do a calcium chloride test or the RH test. If there's any contaminants, whether it's, oil, dust, anything that could be on that slab, whether it was a new installation or it's a renovation, we want to make sure all the contaminants are out of there and the integrity of the slab is good, whether for structural integrity and then the flatness. That's one thing that we have to make sure we're covering is our flatness, the strength of the concrete, and again, the moisture levels. Again, going back over some of the requirements for all substrates, they need to be clean, dry, bondable, free of all contaminants, and meeting any of the IRC or IBC codes, building codes that we need to have there. One thing you want to definitely look at is if there's any wood floors. As an installer, we don't want the installer to take ownership of a poor framed floor and have to assume that liability. Getting into waterproofing and crack isolation. Waterproofing membranes, they're going to keep the water from going through the slab and going through your floor and going into whether it's the wood below or if it's a concrete substrate or gypsum. And crack isolation, TEC has some great crack isolation. We have ones called Hydroflex that can go up to a 1/4 inch crack isolation. And with that Hydroflex, you can go over 3-day-old concrete. It can be used for previous renovations and things like that. Again, up to 1/4 inch crack, where a lot of manufacturers don't allow their waterproofing membrane to go over 1/4 inch cracks, and we can also go over control joints. As far as moisture, trying to mitigate the moisture, there's a couple different products out there. You can do the traditional epoxy, which needs to meet ASTM F3010, and that's a 2-part epoxy system that you would mix and apply, whether it's trowel, roller applied. That is, you have to be careful on job sites because it does have some VOCs to it, and some people are allergic to epoxies, where we want to make sure that people are protected from that. The other thing we wanted, another one that we could use is a single component, water-based, which is just a roll-on, roller applied or trowel on, and it has no VOCs. You don't have to shut it down. It's easier to use, and you can also take it to the next job site, where epoxy grout or epoxy moisture mitigation system, you would have to do a heat sink and make sure you use all the material, otherwise it's going to start heating up. And now we're going to get into the floor flatness. After we've done our moisture mitigation system, we need to make sure the floor is within the requirements of installing tile or whatever your installation may be. And we can use self-leveling underlayments. We can do patches. For this here, this is a self-leveling underlayment that was put down. There's a lot of different self-levelings out there where they're calcium aluminate. They're going to dry faster. They also have higher strengths depending on what you're looking for or what you need for your specific project. So there's lightweight self-levelers. There is your deep pours, where you can pour up to 3 inches in a neat pour. Most of them you can also add aggregate and pour up to 5 inches in one installation. There's your high flows as well. They're going to find all the nooks and crannies and everything where it needs to go. And before you're installing any of the underlayments, you need to make sure you're priming. And again, it needs to be a clean, sound substrate, dry, no contaminants before you install any of these type of products. Some trowelable underlayments, or I would call them patches. So for us, feather edge, Versa patch, those things, those typically are going to only go a 1/2 inch in a lift, where on self-leveling underlayments, you can go, depending on what you're looking for, what you need, you can go anywhere from a 1/16 of an inch up to 3 inches in one lift, depending on what you're needing, or you can again add the aggregate and go up to 5 inches with that kind of pour. Self-leveling underlayments, they can go over concretes, tile, epoxies, whether it's porous or non-porous substrates. They can go over plywood, they can go over gypsum as long as you have the tensile strength there of 72 psi. Self-leveling underlayments, you're going to be able to cover a larger area in a short amount of time than you are patch. So they're pumpable, they're pourable, they're anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 psi. Again, you can go anywhere from 1/16 of an inch up to 5 inches with aggregate. And with these levelers, they're going to cure in about 2 to 3 hours. We're going to be able to tile over them. And depending on which leveler you're using out there, you may have to go 24 to 48 hours to let it cure out if you're doing any type of vinyl installation or moisture sensitive flooring. This is a really cool project here that we were part of. You can see that it just has 2x6s, and they ended up putting plywood down, and this is what leveler can do and do for you in a bigger, larger area. Getting into some of the warranties, as far as products go, there's product limited warranties. So if you're just using one product, you're going to get a product warranty, and that's going to be what the industry has, is it's a product warranty. You're buying one product. Now, if you start stacking those products, whether you're using the levelers, a primer, a leveler, a mortar, a grout, that's a system. So those system warranties, they're going to get better and better. Where you can see here with a product warranty, it's just replacing material, just the bag of material you bought or the bucket of material that you purchased. That's what it would cover. Where a system warranty is going to cover everything: surface prep, mortars, grouts, flooring. It's the whole system. So with getting the system warranties, you want to make sure you're working with the manufacturer and tell them, hey, this is the work to be done. We can also, for TEC Specialty Products, we can actually do job site specific warranties and put the names of the contractor, the owner of the work there to be done, and then put on all the materials that are listed and give that job site specific warranty, and that'll be, filed in our system. So if you guys don't mind, if you could just in the chat, just put like the name. We're going to get into some of the case studies. I really like some of these case studies. This is one that I was actually a part of in Oklahoma City with Mill Creek Carpet and Tile. This project here, it used to be an old equipment warehouse where it was, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Diamatic, but they're, grinders and things like that for concrete work. And some of the challenges that they had a whole lot of moisture. They ended up having, I believe it was like 32 different calcium chloride tests that they did over this whole installation. And we ended up going in there and recommending to them that they use the Liquid Dam epoxy. And then they used our self-leveling LS Level Set 400 high flow. And then they also did some tile work, some wood work. So they used our Wood Secure and some of our mortars for this, and they were able to get a system warranty for that because it was all those products. This project here, this was with SMU in Dallas. This project here was kind of neat, as that picture there on the top left, that was a 40 to 50-year-old sand mix that was on there that they had to get rid of with a basement below. And the architects and designers came in and looked at levelers to be put down, and the standard levelers weighed too much because there was a basement below. So they had to go in with a lightweight, which was our lightweight. It's LW60, and it weighs about 60 pounds per cubic foot. And they were able to put that down and fix this floor for SMU. The next one, this is one that just got completed, the University of Alaska Fairbanks. It was a 50-year-old renovation, totaling in 184,000 square feet of different floor coverings, with 135,000 square feet of LVT and carpet tile, and then 49,000 square feet of tile that we were able to help them out with. They had, you know, pours that they had to do from a 1/2 inch up to 4.5 inches. And these pictures here are the bathroom that they renovated for the University of Alaska. And again, they got a system warranty because they used all of the materials required for the system. So they used the mortar, the grout, silicone sealants, the mortars, levelers, patches, all that good stuff. Jim, do we have any questions?
Sorry about that, Josh. I didn't think you were coming to the end quite yet. So at this time, I do not see any questions at all, but if there's any attendees out there that like to ask questions of Josh, and I did want to mention one quick thing about Josh because this is important, and I kind of overlooked this, but Josh did graduate from the United States Military Academy at West Point, and I want to thank him for his service in his time. That's phenomenal. And, but Josh, it looks like you did a good job of presenting your products and going over, you know, your ideas of surface prep and the products that you have. I want to thank you for a great presentation. I want to thank everyone for attending today's program. Tomorrow you'll receive an email from me thanking you. If you have any questions that I can ask Josh or that you'd like answered, please send me an email. And everybody have a great week and great weekend coming up. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Multiple people, the people that they're there with. And it's not the market.